Have you ever wondered how our amazing planet, Earth, came to be? Let's travel back in time, way back, to the very beginning. Imagine a time about 4.5 billion years ago. It's a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. The young Earth is a chaotic, fiery ball of molten rock. The surface isn't solid ground like we know it. It's a vast, bubbling ocean of lava, a world covered in magma. Volcanoes are erupting everywhere, constantly spewing hot gases and molten rock, painting the sky with an angry reddish glow. And the sky itself? It's nothing like the clear blue we see today. If you could stand there, which you couldn't, you'd find you couldn't breathe. There's no oxygen. The atmosphere is a thick, toxic cocktail of gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapor. It's a completely alien world. To make things even more intense, there's a constant cosmic light show. Meteors and asteroids, leftovers from the formation of our solar system, are relentlessly bombarding the planet. It's a cosmic shooting gallery, with fiery projectiles streaking across the sky and crashing into the molten surface, creating massive explosions and even bigger craters. In the midst of all this chaos, something truly spectacular happens. A colossal event that will forever shape our world's destiny. A young planet, about the size of Mars, is on a collision course with our infant Earth. Scientists call this hypothetical planet Theia. The impact is unimaginable. A cataclysmic explosion of energy that sends a tremendous amount of debris, vaporized rock and molten material from both Earth and Theia, blasting out into space. It's the most violent event in our planet's history. But from this incredible destruction comes something beautiful. Gravity, the invisible force that holds everything together, begins to work its magic on this cloud of debris. Slowly, over millions of years, these fragments start clumping together. They coalesce, spin, and eventually form a spherical body. This new celestial companion, born from the fiery collision, is our moon. It begins its eternal dance, orbiting our planet. At first, the moon was much, much closer to Earth than it is today, appearing huge and magnificent in the prehistoric sky. Its gravitational pull was incredibly strong, creating massive tides in the magma oceans and helping to stabilize Earth's wobble, setting the stage for a more predictable climate in the distant future. Over the next several 100 million years, things slowly start to calm down. The constant meteor bombardment lessens. The planet's surface begins to cool, like a giant pot of soup taken off the stove. This cooling process allows a solid crust to form. It's not a stable crust yet. It's thin and constantly being broken and reformed by the volcanic activity beneath. But it's a start. As the Earth cools further, the water vapor that was trapped in the atmosphere begins to condense. And then, it starts to rain. And it doesn't just rain for a day or a week. It rains for centuries, a relentless planet-wide deluge. This torrential downpour fills the vast basins and craters on the newly formed crust, slowly creating the first oceans. Imagine a world where it rains non-stop for thousands of years, water pouring from the sky to create the massive bodies of water that would one day cover more than 70% of our planet's surface. These early oceans were different from today's. They were likely greenish in color due to high iron content and very, very hot. It's in these warm, primordial oceans that the most incredible miracle of all is about to happen. About 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, in this chemical-rich soup, something sparks. The exact process is still one of science's greatest mysteries, but somehow, non-living chemical compounds come together to form the first, simplest forms of life. We're not talking about fish or plants. We're talking about tiny single-celled organisms, similar to bacteria. These are the very first life forms on Earth, our most distant ancestors. They are microscopic, but their impact will be monumental. For billions of years, these tiny microbes are the only inhabitants of Earth. They thrive in the oceans, slowly evolving. One group, known as cyanobacteria, develops a revolutionary new trick: photosynthesis. They learn to harness the power of the sun to create their own food, and as a byproduct of this process, they release a waste gas. That gas is oxygen. For hundreds of millions of years, these tiny organisms pump oxygen into the oceans and then into the atmosphere. This is a slow, gradual process, but it's a global transformation. This event, known as the Great Oxidation Event, was actually a catastrophe for much of the early life on Earth, as oxygen was toxic to them. But for the future of life, it was everything. The increasing oxygen levels in the atmosphere created the ozone layer, which shielded the planet from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. This protective shield made it possible for life to eventually move out of the oceans and colonize the land. Every single breath you take today, you owe to these ancient microscopic pioneers. They literally terraformed our planet, changing its atmosphere and paving the way for the complex, diverse, and beautiful world we know. From that single-celled ancestor in the ancient ocean, the tree of life began to branch out in incredible ways. Over eons, evolution gave rise to more complex cells, then multicellular organisms, plants, fungi, and the incredible array of animals that have walked, crawled, swam, and flown across our planet. From the first fish venturing onto land, to the age of the dinosaurs, to the rise of mammals, and eventually, us. It all started here, in this fiery, chaotic, and ultimately life-giving beginning. The story of our Earth is a story of violence, transformation, and incredible resilience. It's a reminder that we live on a truly special and dynamic world, a tiny blue dot that, against all odds, became a cradle for life. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. If you found this story of our planet's origins as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more adventures into science and history. Let me know in the comments what part of Earth's story you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.